Hey, so this video is all about what parents with minor children need to do from an estate planning perspective to protect themselves, protect their kids, protect what they've worked for. So Paul Rabley here, estate planning attorney, and I first want to go through what happens in the situations where parents don't put any legal plans in place and the terrible thing happens, something happens to them and they still have minor children because it's bad. And then I want to go through what parents with minor children should do to put legal plans in place. First, kind of the obvious, it doesn't happen often, but when it happens, it's a nightmare. I've been involved in several. So when parents pass away, they leave minor children. Aside from all the other trauma, there's a bunch of legal stuff that has to occur. One is a guardian, or in Louisiana called a tutor, has to be appointed for the minor children. So hopefully the right maybe surviving relative, that potential, new parent for the minor children. Again, the parents will have had no control over this because they didn't put things in place, but people have to petition the court, and it's a court proceeding, so all the typical delays and costs of having to deal with the courts are involved here, and a judge ultimately will appoint what's called a tutor or a guardian of the minor children. That's that kind of who will raise the children, who will determine where they live, where they go to school, what kind of care they get, medical care. And the judge will appoint both what's called a tutor, T-U-T-O-R, and an under tutor who watches over the tutor. And so that's a mess if there's no plans in advance. And if there's if two different people are, both arguing with each other over who should be the tutor or guardian, then you're looking at probably years before you get that settled. And then with as far as the assets that are left, they'll go to the children, but if the children are minors, it goes into this tutorship proceeding. And if the children need money for their school or maintenance needs or whatever, a judge has to approve all those expenditures while the children are still young. Again, just a bureaucratic nightmare. And then as your minor children get to their 18th birthday, then that's when that court-appointed tutor dumps the money into their lap and on their 18th birthday, and then they're on their own. So you can imagine the consequences there. Those children have really no, parental guidance. They're adults now. A bunch of money gets thrown at them. They have no one kind of mentoring them. And bad things happen. So those are a couple of the reasons why it's so important for parents with minor children to put the legal plans in place. Let me go through maybe 5 different components that you need to address. Number 1 is all parents with minor children, when they participate in estate planning, they name the guardian for their minor children in case both parents pass away before the children are 18. That's the age of majority in Louisiana. So technically, the surviving parent has the right to designate the guardian. That comes up in, when parents are divorced. But the surviving parent has that right, and they typically do it either in their will, that's most common, or in some other declaration that's notarized and witnessed by 2 people. And so we've done some of that as well when parents need to do it really quick. They're going on a trip. So that's where you get to designate who's going to raise your children, who your children are going to live with. I know all parents want to have a say in that, but you've got to put the legal plans in place. The second of 5 components is we got to make sure we comply with these forced heirship provisions, which are unique to Louisiana. Because while most people say, well, I want what I have to be for the benefit of my minor kids, what the forced heirship rules don't allow you to do is leave everything to your spouse. Can't do it because you have these forced heirs. So you got to make sure you set all that up the right way. Third component is all parents with minor children, virtually all parents, when they engage in estate planning, they set up trusts for their kids. So a judge doesn't have to oversee how the inheritance gets spent, and the money's not dumped into your child's lap on their 18th birthday. Happy birthday, probably gone when they're 19. So most parents set up trusts, and there's a gazillion different ways to set it up, but sometimes parents of minor children, as part of their estate planning, say, well, if we pass away, we want our assets to go into a trust for our kids. We want my sister, my mother, my trusted friend to be the trustee. We'd like that trustee to use the funds for our children's health, their education, their maintenance and support. And then once our children reach a later age, maybe they say 25, maybe they say a third at 25, a third at 30, a third at 35. Maybe they say in their trust they want the trustee to have discretion to determine when the children get it. Then the children get it at a later age, hopefully more mature. They're able to benefit from it over a very long time, but have their important educational needs taken care of. So a lot of options there. So those trusts can be set up as part of a parent's will, called a testamentary trust. It's a trust that's in their will. Or it can be set up as a separate trust, and maybe the will references that trust, or maybe that other trust is part of the parent's revocable living trust because the parents want to eliminate the relatives and the kids from having to go through that probate or succession when they die. So a few options there. Need to talk about that. And then a couple of other things. Number 4 is all parents with minor children need to have powers of attorney in place. It's a disaster if you become incapable, car wreck, injury, illness, whatever. You're not able to sign your name, deal with a sale of your vehicles or your home, not able to request medical records from your doctor. So virtually all parents with minor children have these powers of attorney in place. It's where you designate who you'd want taking care of your business and taking care of you if you're not able to take care of these things for yourself. Most married couples appoint their spouse first, but real important to name a backup. Again, maybe a trusted family member or friend. As you get older and your kids get older, they get into their late 20s, they're more mature, you'll likely have them fill some of these power of attorney roles as opposed to others who would fill them because your kids are minors. And then maybe the last piece that we address with everybody is that living will declaration, which is the statement about life support machines. You may not want to put, an 18-year-old as being responsible for making that decision to withhold or withdraw life support machines if you're in that profound comatose state. You got no chance of recovery. Machines are just artificially prolonging the dying process. A lot of, excuse me, parents get a lot of comfort in documenting their wishes, directing their family and their doctors to follow it. Keeps the children from having to make that really tough decision that may linger on for some time. So there you have it. But a disaster. Doesn't happen often. Been involved in a few. Parents with minor children pass away. Complete legal nightmare. All that can be avoided with the proper planning in place. Every state is a little bit different. We focus on Louisiana, South Louisiana primarily. So if you're a parent with minor child, you want to kind of get that checked off your to-do list, give us a call. If you're a parent with minor child, you're probably fairly young. You're not 90, so you can take advantage of some of the technology that we have to learn more. You can check out a lengthier discussion of this on our podcast called Estate Planning with Paul Rabelais. You can check out more on the YouTube channel and subscribe. You can go to our website, rabelaisestateplanning.com, find out lots more. Hope that helps. Really hoping to give you some guidance and make you know that it's not so difficult to take care of your kids. You're busting your tail at home and at work to try to take care of them. You need to take care of this piece as well. Take care. See ya.